A couple of years ago, my wife and I were in big doo-doo. We were in $215,000 of debt, and it was crazy. And in order to pay off all that nightmare, my wife and I decided to look into side hustles in order to increase our streams of income so that we could get rid of that thing faster. She and I resorted to many side hustles. We tried different things, tried selling things on Etsy. I started driving for Uber, Lyft, selling things online. I tried many different side hustles. And here in this video, whether you want to make a little bit of extra money, whether you want to save up for a car, maybe for a house, or maybe you're paying off debt of your own, I'm going to share with you here my biggest lesson after trying many different side hustles. But not only that, I'm going to warn you and I'm going to tell you what side hustles are not worth your time, energy, and effort. And at the same time, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas that you can look into, and I guarantee you they do work. So with all this being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you drop a like button and consider subscribing. I'm a mechanical engineer, and here in the channel, I share engineering career and personal development advice, insight, and lessons. So with all this being said, the first thing that I'm going to share here with you is that not all side hustles are made equal. That's one of the biggest takeaways that I want you to take from here in this video. And that is because you could be spending 1 hour or 2 hours working on a side hustle, and you could be getting $10 per hour. You could be spending the same amount of time on another side hustle, and you could be getting 10 times, 20 times that amount. So that's the first lesson that I want you to take away from this video, that in order to do a side hustle or work something, you want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck, and you're not wasting or you're not spending your time, energy, and effort on something that's going to have very little return. So with all this being said, the first side hustle that I'm going to tell you to stay away from is Uber and Lyft. Nowadays, it's really not something that is worth your time. In the past, maybe it was, but when I started doing this a couple of years ago, in the best of times, which is when you actually invest nights, weekend nights, also you spend weekends working on Uber, that's when you make the most amount of money. But obviously you're taking time away from spending time with your friends or with your family. And also, not to mention, in the best of times, I was making about $20 an hour. In the worst of times, I was making about $9, $10 an hour. I was driving around with no clients for a while. And mind you, this is in the Washington, D.C. area, which is one of the busiest areas in the country because there's a lot of traffic. Now, what I do want to warn you is that when you are doing Uber, you're not just taking into account your time, you're also putting a lot of wear and tear in your car. You have to also pay taxes on the money that you're making. So at the end of the day, the reward is really not that much. What I'm going to suggest you do here is stay away from Uber, especially nowadays with the inflation and the soaring gas prices. It's not something that is worth it. Now, the other side hustle that I'm going to warn you to stay away from is selling low margin items on eBay or selling on eBay. And I know some of you guys may be thinking, I've heard great things about selling on eBay. There are plenty of people that, hey, they swear by it. And it can be a great thing if you are selling things that are high margin. And by that, I mean, let's say that you buy a computer or something that you can fix up, a piece of electronics, and you can sell it for 2-3 times. If you buy something for $100, you can sell it for $200, $300. But in my case, when I started doing this, I did it the wrong way, and I started selling bracelets online. And there were these little bracelets that actually I enjoyed wearing them. I like them. I bought them from China for about 70 cents a piece, and I was shipping them after selling them for about $5. Well, after putting the stamps on the envelopes, buying the envelopes, and also buying sheets to send messages to customers because, hey, you get reviews and I wanted to provide the best customer service possible. All of this added up, not to mention the logistics time that it took me to prepare all the package. And if I was preparing multiple packages, it would take me longer. Hey, I'm just here putting in perspective that it's just a lot of effort for the $1, $1.50 that I was earning per bracelet. Could there be better ways to make more money? Yes, of course, and I will tell you this in a second. But first, other side hustles that are really not worth your time, and here I'm just going to start listing them like taking surveys, mystery shopping, pet sitting. Just be mindful of the side hustles that you hear. And again, one of the biggest things that you got to pay attention to is the amount and effort that is going to take you to make something happen, and see if the return on that investment is actually going to be worth it for you. And here now, I want to switch gears and I want to share with you now side hustles that are worth looking into. And these are side hustles that I personally tried, many of these, and they work. I guarantee you that they work. And the first one that I want to share here with you is, for example, focus groups where you get paid for your opinion. And those average between $70, $100, $200 for a couple hours worth of work. And it's really not that much. Really, what it entails is you going into a room or signing on to a Zoom meeting, and you just get paid for your opinion. Companies need people's opinions in order to prepare a product, in order to launch service that they may be preparing, and they need people's opinions. So if you are someone that has a couple of hours spare, it's a great side gig. I started doing this a couple of years ago. I did it for about 2 or 3 times, and I made approximately $400 worth of just giving my opinion, sitting in a room. So it's really not that bad, and it's something that you can do even on the side. Like even now, I'm still signed up for it. They call me many times to see if I'm available, but many times I just don't qualify for these because I actually kind of like them and I enjoy them, and it's good side money. So why not? And actually, let me show you here what I mean. And you can get started by going to Limelight Insights, which is the one that I personally use. I've been signed up for this company for a while now. And you can just go in there and register your name and see if you qualify or not. They'll call you and see if you are going to be a good fit, because they do need people that with certain characteristics based on their experience, based on their insight, based on their ethnicity. So who knows what they're going to need. Another side hustle that I suggest you look into, which is going to be worth your time, is tutoring. And one of the biggest misconceptions that I used to think of is, oh my God, I need to be an expert in order to teach something. If you are only teaching the basics, always remember that you don't have to be in chapter 10 in order to teach chapter 2. Personally, I started teaching physics and Spanish when I graduated mechanical engineering school. This was in 2013. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to make some extra money. And when I first started doing it, I was tutoring for about $20 an hour. Eventually, it went up to 30, and eventually even went up to $35, $40 an hour. I did not do this long enough, but if you are someone that really enjoys doing it and you like teaching young people, hey, what you know, then it's a great way to make extra money. Personally, I know a biomedical engineer who's my friend, and he teaches math, teaches engineering principles to high school students, and he makes $190 an hour. So it's a really good side hustle, especially if you're teaching wealthy kids. So if you are someone that wants to get started with this type of side hustle, here is something that I want to share with you, and that is Wyzen. Wyzen is the source or the website that I personally used to use. You can just sign up, and again, it's going to be a little difficult to get high paying gigs in the beginning, but then once you actually get out there and you get your name out there and you get good reviews, you definitely can make it work and make some money, good money, like getting paid like $50, $60, $100 an hour. The other side hustle that I want to share here with you is going to be flipping. With this one, personally, I tried this a couple of years ago when I was getting out of debt. And what happened was I went to my local discount store, my TJ Maxx, and something that happened was I ran into a bike that had a broken brake handle. Well, I asked the manager if I could get the bike at a discount because it was broken, obviously. So the manager at the discount store basically said, okay, fine, we'll give you the bicycle. So after buying the part and spending all my time, I probably invested about an hour and a half fixing it up, going to get the part, and about $100 of investment. It was about $90 for the bike and then $10 for the part. After all said and done, 2 days later, I decided to sell it on Facebook Market. And I put nice pictures on it, of course, a good nice description. And I got it sold for $190. Now, you tell me whether or not this is a good investment of your time. $90 an hour on an hour and a half worth of work is really not that bad. And really, all it takes is a little bit of initiative and proactiveness to get into YouTube, because I'm not a bike expert, but I went onto YouTube just to see how you fix a brake handle of a bike. So if you are someone that wants to get into, hey, I'm going to flip a little bit things more advanced like motorcycles and cars. Personally, I know an electrical engineer who fixes up motorcycles and he sells them to his home country and he just makes a killing. That's his side money. So if that's something that you want to get into, you can start doing cars. You can even do farm equipment. If you live in a rural area and you know your market of farming, I have heard really good things from very big YouTubers here that they flip farm equipment, and that's one way that they can pay for school. They can save extra money for the summer. So keep all this in mind and don't limit yourself. A couple of other side hustles that I want to share here with you, my friends, is consulting and getting paid for your advice and insight. And personally, I've been doing this for the last couple of years. If you are not aware of the Alex Isidro mentoring program, where I help young engineers with getting jobs, and also I help them with any career guidance, advice that they need. So in the last couple of years, I've helped many young engineers, young engineering students get jobs, internships, and also have reviews here if you want to check them out. Recently, I helped someone through the interview process, and this person got into Northrop Grumman, and I've also helped another young engineer get into Amazon. So the point here is that if you have an expertise or if you have something that you want to share with people, then get paid for your advice, for your insight. And consulting is a great way that you can do this. Now, it doesn't have to be, of course, career related. It can be engineering related if you are someone that already has a little bit of experience and you can provide that experience and insight to a company. Even there's a lot of money to be made. I know many consultants, engineers that make this happen, especially if you go into government consulting. That's a really big market if you're someone that wants to get into that. By the way, if you are interested in that, in the Alex Isidro mentoring program, then make sure that you go here, Alex Isidro Engineering Career, or actually here, alexidro.com/mentor one-on-one consultations. All right, so the next couple of side hustles that I want to share here with you, my friends, is selling items that you can make or modify. This is very big, especially when it comes to us engineers. And if you are someone that likes to make stuff or modify, customize items, then it's a great side gig. Personally, I've heard of many engineers who do 3D printing of electrical parts. Like, for example, let me show you here something that I've seen engineers do. And that is, if you go to Reddit, actually, you're going to find a lot of people that are talking about 3D printed items that they sell on Etsy or other websites. But hey, look at this floral arrangements. Also, you got to take into account the type of margin that you are earning, right? Because if you're going to sell something that it's going to be $10, $20, it's going to leave you hungry. You know, it doesn't scratch that itch of, oh, this was really good, this was worthwhile. So just keep that in mind. If anything, I would probably go with high margin items. And the good thing about these, though, is many times these are print on demand. So that means that you are not making something until it sells. And so you're not wasting your inventory, you're not wasting material, you're not wasting time. You make it, take a picture of it, and then once people order it, then you actually get to make it. And so that way you're working smart and not just hard. So it's another really good way that you can make things happen. Now, I have heard of, actually, let me show you here another. I have a friend who actually is doing headlights. He is doing he's customizing headlights, and he actually runs it out of his garage. And if you're someone that is into cars, people actually contact this guy from around in the area. I don't know if around the country, but because he makes customized tints for headlights and he makes them for all types of cars. So of course, people that are going to be contacting you for this type of work, they're going to have some disposable income, And with the economy, how the economy is doing now, this may not be the right timing. However, it's something that if you enjoy doing, if you enjoy fixing up cars or fixing anything up or customizing things, then don't be afraid to put that up online and see who wants to contact you to make it happen for you. You know, many people just want to pay money. I know, myself included, there are many handy things here in the house that I'm like, nah, that's going to take too much time. Let me just pay somebody to go get this done. So something to keep in mind if you want to make this happen, my friends. Okay, now the last side hustle that I want to share here with you, and this is something that I want to say, I'm gonna throw myself under the bus here, is make side hustle videos about side hustles on social media. Of course, if you have watched the channel for a while, you know that I don't just make side hustle videos here. I share engineering career, life insight, personal development. But hey, people want to watch these side hustle videos and they're interested in it. I made a couple of videos some time ago about side hustles for engineers, and they did well. So that's why I'm making this, and also because I have other ideas and lessons learned from my personal experience running side hustles. So if you are someone that you want to get on social media and you want to share your expertise, that's the point here that I'm trying to make. If you are someone that, hey, you want to share your expertise, your insights, you have something to say, or maybe you are an entertainer. Maybe your personality is just so glowy and you are very upbeat and positive and you make people laugh. And if you are like that, then why not put yourself out there? You are going to be taking some criticism. You're going to be dealing with some hate comments. And personally, from my social media journey, there are many things that, of course, you would like them to not happen. But then also the good side is that you get to help people. You get to make people's day or lives just a little easier based on your insight, your experience. And if you are an entertainer and you make people laugh, hey, why not? Go on there, go out, get out there. With all this being said, my friends, do you have any questions about side hustles? And if you have any experience or lessons learned with side hustles yourself, then let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Let's help some people out. All right, guys. So with all this being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care. Like this video and subscribe, by the way. Peace.